I slept with my girlfriend's mom 2 years ago. I can't tell her because I know she'll dump me and it'll probably end her parents' marriage. So let me say this. I'm not the one in the wrong for this, but I have to say it somewhere. It's eating me alive. 2 years ago when I was 19, I met this woman while I was working as a personal trainer. She was in her 40s and looked like a 25-year-old. She took an interest in me and invited me out, and we slept together a few times. After one of our meetups, she said it was wrong for someone of her age to be with me because I was too young, and then she changed gyms. My girlfriend and I have been together for just under a year. She's amazing and I love her so much. 2 months ago, I met her family for the first time and it was a shock. Like, she took me to the house where I had hooked up with the woman and I felt like I was being pranked. Before I see her mom, it hits me. I have a type and they both fit that type, so it makes sense. I've been hooking up with a single mom and now I'm with her daughter. Then her mom and dad pop out and we both almost shit ourselves. I meet her parents. They've been married for 20 years. I realize I have been a married woman's boy toy and I feel incredibly ashamed. Later that week, her mom finds my number and tells me that I can never speak of what happened. She says that my girlfriend will hate me forever because I'll be the one who broke up her parents. So now I'm stuck keeping the secret. She invited me to spend Thanksgiving with her and her family since my family is 1,000 miles away and I already told her I don't plan on going home and I don't really have an excuse not to go. So now I'm going to have to sit there at a table and enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with the woman I had an affair with, her husband, and her daughter, whom I am now in love with.
Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my best friend's wedding for replacing me as maid of honor? 8 months ago, my best friend of 5 years, who we'll call Ashley for the sake of this story, announced that she was getting married and she asked me to be her maid of honor. It was a no-brainer for me because we've been each other's best friends since middle school. We spent months looking over bridesmaids' dresses, wedding dresses, color schemes, decorations, etc. At this point, everything was running super smoothly and we were on great terms. She let me know up front that I'd have to pay for my dress and pitch in money for everything. I knew money was tight for her and her fiance, so I really wanted to help, especially because we're so close. Around about 3 months until the wedding, we were at a get-together and we were introduced to a girlfriend of a friend of my boyfriend and her fiance. We'll call her Lauren. Ashley and Lauren seemed to click really well and almost immediately, so they exchanged numbers and they were planning to get coffee at a later date. A week after the party, I was on FaceTime with Ashley and she was basically just gushing to me about Lauren. Going on about how funny she is, how cool she is, and her career, how many places she's traveled at the age of 20. But I was happy for her that she met someone that she had such good chemistry with. Not long after that, I started noticing a really abnormal distance from Ashley. If I texted her, it was at least 6 hours until she would respond. At first, I just brushed it off since her big day was coming soon, so I assumed she was just stressed and busy. Me and her would hang out, which wasn't really much at that point. We would only be talking about wedding stuff, like how much I was contributing financially, and just other things as well. Us hanging out was usually cut short because she always had a prior plan with Lauren and she had to rush off to it. At this point, the wedding was 2 weeks away. The morning of her bachelorette party, which I planned and paid for, I decided that I was going to ask Lauren if she was going to be a bridesmaid. She looked at me as if she had some bad news to tell me. And that's when Ashley turned to me and said, "I'm so sorry. I've been thinking about this for a while and I should have told you sooner, but I'm making Lauren my maid of honor." Obviously, I was pissed, but I didn't want to ruin the day for her, so I just took the news with a smile and moved on. Later that day at the party, I watched as Ashley stood up with Lauren and introduced her as her maid of honor. Mostly everyone clapped except a few of our friends who looked at them and then looked at me like, what? My blood was literally boiling at this point, so I stormed out. I haven't seen Ashley in 2 months or even had a real conversation about what happened. But now I'm conflicted about whether or not I'm completely in the wrong, so please let me know your thoughts and opinions on this.
Am I the astronaut for being upset at my wife for going somewhere I told her not to? Am I wrong for telling my wife to stop going to a location she has frequently hit on and given free things? I, 28 male, have been married to my wife, 26 female, for 2 years now. We've had some ups and downs, but overall, She's a supportive partner, but sometimes, like all couples, we do bicker, but we try and fix our problems at the end of the day. Recently, my wife has been going on jogs and going to this new smoothie shop. She loves smoothies. We have a few smoothie shops in our area that she also loves, and we also make smoothies at home, but this place just opened up. She went for a jog and tried it out and loved it. She said the staff was nice and the smoothies are great. I'm happy for her. She comes back one day after her jog with a smoothie for her and I and told me that she got both for free. I was shocked only because smoothies in our area can cost sometimes $8 each. I asked her, why did she get them for free? Was today a special day? She said, please don't get mad, but the worker there was hitting on me and gave me both of them for free. He gives me all my drinks for free when I go there after my jogs. She's been there about 6 to 7 times at this point. I told her I'm uncomfortable with her getting free drinks and being flirted with and would like her to go to a new smoothie shop. We have the money. I can pay for her smoothies, or I can make them at home. Plus, there's so many in our area. She said that I should trust her, that she wouldn't cheat on me, and free smoothies is a plus. I told her I don't want her going there anymore, and she said she wishes I would trust her. Fast forward to today, my wife still goes on her morning jogs, and she went to the same smoothie place I asked her to stop going to see the same man who's been flirting with her and giving her free drinks. I only noticed because I have her location tracked. When she got home, I didn't say anything to her about it. She went to the shower and left her phone and keys on the counter. She asked me if I could text her mother about dinner at our place tonight, and I said, sure. When I opened her phone, texted her mother, sent the text about dinner tonight, a text from her best friend came up on the screen. It said, you're not wrong. It's okay to have crushes while you're married. Just don't do anything stupid. Plus, he gives you free smoothies, girl. So I clicked on the text and I read their messages. She had told her best friend that she thought the guy at the smoothie shop was attractive, that he would flirt with her and give her free smoothies and they would chat. She found him on Instagram and he's married with kids, but she still enjoys getting the smoothies and seeing him on her jogs. I'm wondering what to do now. It's been a few hours since I've discovered this and I haven't talked to my wife about it. Am I wrong for telling her to stop going? Is this normal? Relevant comments. 1, she looked for him on Instagram to see if he was available, to find out more about him, and to start communication outside of the shop. That's hugely worrisome. Saying that he's attractive and crushing on him and intends to keep seeing him? No. That's not how healthy marriages work. What's most worrisome is you already asked her to stop, and she not only didn't, but also hid it and escalated, pursuing him by stalking him on Instagram. That's what's most troubling. Update 20 hours later. I wanted to give an update about the smoothie situation with my wife. I wanted to start this off by first thanking everyone for the advice and comments. I apologize that I wasn't able to respond to any comments. I've been a bit overwhelmed with the amount of comments I got, as well as the situation at hand. To address a few things, first, I didn't intentionally snoop through my wife's phone. I texted her mom about dinner, and then I saw the text pop up from her best friend. That's really what happened. I guess my wife's not a good cheater. And second, I love my wife, or at least I thought I did. I call her beautiful every day. I don't neglect her emotionally. I give her everything I have. I make enough money that my wife can stay home and enjoy her days, even though we don't have any kids of our own, and it still isn't enough. I haven't spoken to my wife about what I know just yet. Her mother came over for dinner after I made my post. I acted as though nothing was wrong. I participated in cooking the meal, ate, and then her mother left. After her mom left, my wife told me she had a headache and she was going to lay down for the night. I gave her a kiss goodnight and she went to bed. After she went to bed, I decided to go through her phone. I wanted more concrete proof about what my wife was doing and, more importantly, why. I can't trust a word out of her mouth at this point, especially because it appears she initially tried to delete her text with her best friend. My wife just switched from having a Samsung to having an iPhone, so she wasn't aware that all deleted messages are saved for 30 days unless deleted again from a separate folder. I restored the messages, screenshotted them, and deleted them afterwards. What I found was heartbreaking. She told her best friend that she has a huge crush on the man at the smoothie shop. She told her best friend that they have exchanged names and she's been cyberstalking him. That she paid for one of those $1 background checks to learn more about him. She also said that he is a manager at the smoothie shop. It is a corporate company. He has 5 kids and has been married for 15 years. That's right, 15 years. He's 46 years old. Yes, you read that correctly, 46 years old. Just insane. She also told her best friend that on top of the free drinks, he takes his break when she gets there and they often chat about life, and she really enjoys seeing him every day and talking to him. She said that he started blowing her kisses and she blows him one back and tells him to have a good day and that she'll see him tomorrow. Get this, my wife even knows his work schedule. Apparently, he's off on Mondays and Tuesdays. Coincidentally, my wife doesn't go on her jogs on Monday or Tuesday. Her best friend was just encouraging her behavior throughout the entire thread, telling her that she's not wrong for having a crush if she doesn't sleep with him. And if she does sleep with him, use protection and turn off your phone and tell your husband your phone died on your jog. I am heartbroken. I checked her Instagram too. She hasn't DM'd him to my knowledge, but her search history and message history were erased. She must have erased it before she went to bed. My wife did not go for a jog today because Smoothie Boy is probably off today because it's Monday. She's been acting as if nothing is wrong. She still doesn't know I know what she's doing. She's having an emotional affair. I'll be contacting my lawyer tomorrow. I don't know what to say to her. I slept in my office last night on the couch. I just feel sick, devastated, at a loss for words. I probably won't respond to any comments, but I do appreciate them. I probably won't use this account anymore either. I just feel numb, dumb, stupid. Best of luck to everyone.
I feel like my mom lashed out at me a lot when I was a kid because she didn't really like me as a person. Even though she would tell me she liked me, I feel like deep down she really hated the person that I was, or just me being here in general. One of the meanest things my mom had did when she was doing my hair, like my hair is very curly, it's very thick, it's very coarse, and she does not like that. Because her hair was like curly when she was younger, but not like mine more like a wavy hair. And I told her that I needed help with my hair because this day I just couldn't get this knot out of my hair. Because my mom literally stopped brushing my hair when I was 5 and I had to do it by myself. Because she said she did not want to deal with it because it was a nappy mess, and she said she felt like, you know what, you're old enough to deal with it. So I was doing my hair ever since I was 5. But this day I asked her, could she get it out, because I really wanted my hair to look pretty for my picture day. I could tell she started irritated because the guy that she was talking to was texting her back, and she was wondering why. She did sleep with him, and I guess he ghosted her. So I'm guessing she was mad about it, but I asked her, I'm like, Mom, can you make me something to eat after we're done doing my hair? She said, do I look like a chef to you? I'm not making you fucking food. I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. So she started to yank on my hair really hard to the point that I felt like my hair was ripping from my head. For some reason, my mom literally hated when I would touch my hair whenever she was doing it, so she hit me so hard with a wooden brush. And because she hit me that hard, like a nerve in my hand literally went out, and I felt like this side of my hand was really numb. My hand stayed numb for about 3 weeks. I asked her to take me to the doctor because I was scared that I was going to lose my finger. She said no. And then she hit me so hard on the head that I literally felt like my stitches split open. And they did, and I had to go get them restitched. And then she literally grabbed both sides of my hair and she pulled me to her. She hated when I ran away and cried from her. After that, I never asked my mom to do my hair again. My granddad would make me dance for him, so literally when he was doing this, he can watch me dance and then he would get off on that. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry about it, but I remember like this was a Monday. I literally just got back from school. I was so tired, I was so exhausted, and my brother and my sister were literally sleeping on their pillows, face down in it, literally could suffocate because my granddad did not want to hear them cry. So I had to literally roll them over, big tired, but I literally lay down in my Tigger outfit and I go to sleep. But then he wakes me up like 5 minutes later. He was like, can you come to the living room for me? I say yes. I get up and I'm thinking in my head, I just want to go to sleep. Please don't touch me. I really hope that he's not trying to. I really hope that he just tells me to wash the dishes or something. At this time, High School Musical 2 already had just came out, and I was so excited to watch it later again because I was just watching the reruns over and over again. And I know he told me, he was like, okay, stand in the middle of the living room. So I did. He just whipped it out. And I literally was like staring at it, and I was just like, what are you doing? I kind of thought maybe this was that specific time where he was gonna put it. I thought that's what he was gonna do, but he just started to tell me to dance. So he turned on a song that he liked and he just kept telling me to dance to it. I said okay, and he was like, I was like doing this weird stupid dances, and he was like, no, he was showing me what he wanted me to dance like. I didn't even know how to dance like that, but I was just like, oh, okay. So I just like was copying the lady who was dancing and everything like that. And I was dancing for 5 straight minutes, and I remember he got up and I knew what he was about to do. I ran away, but he yanked me by my hair and he put me on the floor and he choked me. Like, he jumped on me and choked me, and then he just, like, did it all on my face. And then he took his hands, and he rubbed, like, it in my face, and then he put it in my mouth. I want to go take a shower after that, and I remember when I got out, I threw those clothes away. I still love Tigger. Don't even worry about that one. And you know what's crazy? He choked me so hard that it literally made marks on my neck, and my mom never said anything about it. She saw it because she looked at me, and she thought they were hickeys, and I was just like, no, I got hurt. And after that, things got a little bit worse because now he realized he can cross boundaries because he realized he was stronger than me and I was really small. And me and him literally ended up in a fight that actually made a scar kind of like on the side of my ear because he took his blade that he had from like the store, like this army store that he went, and he put it to my ear. But I guess he never thought that it would actually go through my ear, and because it did, it made a scar. Things got real violent after that, so it kind of stopped being sexual and it got really violent. But I'm okay. I'm working through it, you guys.
I don't know why my life is full of events so crazy that they should only happen in movies, but I am back with another dating story time, and this is just another reminder to always trust your gut instinct because your intuition is always right. So in March this year, I met this boy at the gym that I go to, and we started seeing each other from June. And after about a month and a half of seeing each other every single weekend and twice throughout the week at the gym as well, he reassured me that we were exclusive, that he wasn't sleeping with anyone else, and that he wanted a relationship. Let me just preface that by saying he got out of an 8-year relationship last year, and so I was kind of expecting him to just be like, oh, I'm not really looking for a relationship at the moment, but he told me he was, and I believed him. Now, because I have been cheated on in the past, I am very hyper aware and a bit psychotic, so I would always go through his following just to look at the girls that he's following just to see like if I can find anything. Anyway, so there was this girl that he was following when we first started seeing each other, and after like a month or two, when I rechecked again, they weren't following each other, but I didn't really think anything of it. I eventually found out that that girl was the girl that he was seeing before me, and in September they started following each other again, which I thought was kind of weird. So I asked him if they still talk to each other. He said, yeah, sometimes, but it's platonic. We just send each other memes, check in on each other, stuff like that. So I tried to not be psychotic at this point and I just left it. 2 weeks ago, I saw 3 message notifications from this girl on his phone, and I wanted to confront him about it, but I kind of brought it up in a roundabout way at first because I wanted him to tell me. So I asked him when was the last time he spoke to her, and he told me last week. I said, like, would you show me the messages? He was like, no, it's personal. And I was like, but if you guys just send each other memes and stuff, like, how is it that personal? And he was like, well, I wouldn't want you to send like our conversation to someone else. So it was just like very sus. Anyway, I told him to unfollow and stop talking to this girl because it made me uncomfortable, to which he did. And I also said to him, you know, like, if you don't show me the messages, I'm literally never going to be able to trust you again. And he was like, that's fine. I will prove to you that you can trust me. But just still like wasn't willing to show me the messages. So this fight went on for like 5 days. I kept telling him to show me the messages. He kept getting really defensive and saying like, we've had this conversation 5 times, and just like really invalidating my feelings. He kept being like, I've unfollowed her, I've stopped talking to her, like, why can't you trust me? And as much as my head was telling me to run because that is so against my morals, I was like, you know what, this guy's done so much for me over the last 5 months. Everything I've asked him to change or do for me, he's done. And so I was like, maybe I should trust him and just try to move forward with it. Next minute, he comes swooping in with the, we have too many fights, there's too much conflict, I can't do this anymore. So then I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was literally willing to put my morals to the side to try and move forward because I thought this relationship would work. So obviously I was like heartbroken and so upset last week because I feel like I never really got the closure I was after. So last night I decided to message the other girl. And to my surprise, this girl knew nothing about me. She had been seeing him and continuously was seeing him since April, was sleeping with him. She had no idea about me. This man had a fucking roster, right? He saw her on Friday nights. I would come down Saturday, Sunday and stay with him. Then he would be up in Brisbane during the week and I would see him Tuesday, Thursday at the gym. He told us both that we were both exclusive with him and that he wanted a relationship with both of us. Anyway, so we both confronted him, and all he had to say was literally like, I'm sorry I hurt you, like I know I did the wrong thing, I wish I was in a better place, and then he deactivated his Instagram. But something tells me that me and this other girl are not the only ones that have been through this with this guy, so if you live on the Gold Coast and you've had a similar experience, please hit me up. As shitty as this was to go through, it literally just goes to show that female intuition is always right and that you should always trust your gut no matter what.
Imagine you just graduated, you go on a vacation by yourself just to celebrate, you're on your own in a different country, okay? You go on a dating app to meet someone or meet people to celebrate your birthday with, and you don't even live to see your birthday because of that person? Yeah, story time. Let us begin. So this poor girl's name was Grace. She just graduated and she decided to go to New Zealand for a vacation because she just graduated. Like, that's all women want to do, live their life, but we can't in this fucking world. Grace's birthday is coming up. She's still in New Zealand, so obviously she doesn't know anybody. So she decides to download Tinder so that she can meet new people or just make a friend that she can spend her birthday with, because who wants to spend their birthday alone? Not me. I don't think you do either. Also, keep in mind, she is keeping in contact with her family and her friends. Like, she is speaking to them every single day, updating them every single day, so they know exactly what's going on, where she is, and how she's doing, okay? So she matches with this guy named Jesse, and they decide to hang out and just vibe the day before her birthday. I hate men so much. The day finally comes, they are hanging out. She's now messaging her friends, telling them how great of a time she's having. She's really liking this guy and she's vibing with him. Like, she's really updating them about everything, all the little tea that's going on. Keep in mind, this is the day before her birthday, so her friends are really not thinking nothing of it. They're just happy that she's having a good time with this guy, this random guy. So now the day of her birthday comes, everyone's blowing up her phone, her family, her friends, everyone is just saying happy birthday to her, and nobody hears back from her. No one. Not even her parents. Nobody. So enough time goes by without them hearing from her that they obviously know something is wrong. They do what they need to do to find out where she is and what happened to her. Her family then comes to find out that the night before her birthday, he had brought her to his hotel room, killed her, and tried to hide her body. He basically came in with her in the elevator. You can see it in the surveillance footage, and he just left by himself. He went to go get a shovel. He went to go get a suitcase, which was empty when it came in and packed to the brim when it went out. He got cleaning supplies. And the worst part about it is he really thought he could get away with it, because what in your right mind did you think was gonna happen? Do you guys know what the worst part about this is? He had the audacity to say that it was consensual, that it happened while they were having sex, so it was consensual. Who is consenting to that? Who is consenting to their life being taken from them the day before their birthday when they just wanted to spend time with you? Like, not only did he take her life, he literally crammed her into a suitcase, went and buried her in the middle of the woods, and then threw out her belongings. Just like it was nothing, and went about his day like nothing happened, and tried to leave and tried to flee the scene. My heart genuinely goes out to this family, because not only did he take this girl's life, because nobody deserves that, but he took away the right for his family, his parents, his friends to say goodbye to Grace. Like, this girl had just a vacation on her mind. Like, she just graduated. She just wanted to travel, live her life. It was her birthday. She just wanted to celebrate her damn birthday. And he took her life, stuffed her in a suitcase, and buried her. How could you do that to somebody and their family and their loved ones? Like, that is just so beyond me. It's crazy that people can live after that. You guys already know what I'm about to say. I do not hope you enjoyed this video. And it's just crazy that I'm in a place in my life where I'm saying this story and I can tell you that it's true. It genuinely did happen to a girl, and it's scary for us out here. Like, that's just all it is. But please be careful. I'm not saying that everywhere is scary and nobody travel and da-da-da-da. Don't talk to people. Don't meet people. Just be careful. Like, just keep your mind alert and just know that there's red flags that you need to be aware of. Don't look the other way when you feel uncomfortable. Leave the situation.
Storytime, my sister and I live in the same house, but we haven't spoken to each other in 2 years. So a little background information, I was 17 years old and a junior in high school, and my sister was only a year younger than me, so she was 16 and a sophomore in high school. My sister struggled a lot in school with making friends because she wasn't very likable. She had a really bad attitude, she would bully people all the time about their appearances, so naturally this made her quite a few enemies. And I just so happened to be really good friends with the older siblings of the kids that she would bully. And they were always coming to me saying, hey, get a hold of your sister before we do. And whenever I would warn her about this, she would literally say that she didn't care and she wishes somebody would confront her about it. Now, my sister did have a group of friends who all were notorious for loving fighting and bullying others as well. So in my head, I was like, okay, at least she has them to back her up. However, things took a turn for the worse whenever she took some inappropriate photos of a girl changing in the locker room and shared them around the whole school. This girl was a freshman, and she just so happened to be a sibling of one of the girls in my sister's group. She also had another sister who was a senior. Like I said, my sister took some pictures of this girl in the locker room and sent them around the whole school. And this girl's older sister was a part of my sister's friend group. I didn't know about this until rumors reached me that my sister was going to be jumped after school. So instead of going straight to my boyfriend's house after school that day, I drove her home instead. The next day, my best friend texted me in the morning saying, hey, you might want to walk around with your sister because they're going to try to get her in the locker room. So my best friend and I took turns all day watching after my sister. And sure enough, whenever we went into the locker room with her, there were 7 girls waiting to fight her. Here's the thing, I'm not a fighter. Fighting isn't fair to begin with, so I picked up this metal scooter next to me, and I just start swinging it at them. Thankfully, security guards and teachers intervened before anything terrible happened. They looked at my sister as the victim, so all of us ended up getting suspended except for her. Fast forward after my suspension, I go back to school. Everything was normal until I went to the library during lunch. All of the girls who got suspended, plus 5 more girls, were all staring at me. So like I said, everyone except for my sister got suspended, which I don't even know how that happened. But fast forward after my suspension, I returned to school, and everything was normal until I went to the library during lunch. When I got there, those same girls that got suspended plus 5 more girls were all staring at me. while I was walking over to my table to go study and eat. And then I see this one girl that is known for fighting, so she has to have a security guard with her at all times. Like, this guy literally had her on a leash 24/7. So when I didn't see him with her, that's when I knew it was time for me to get up and go. So I grab all my things and I go to walk out of the library, and then all of a sudden I feel someone yank my hair, and it was over for me. All those girls ended up getting suspended again, and I ended up getting suspended for that picture because my sister went around and told everyone in school that it was me who took the picture, and I was the one bullying that girl online through fake accounts. And my sister told everybody that I was going to be in the library during lunch that day. Her and I still live at our parents' house, but we do not speak to each other at all.
Am I the astronaut for not dragging my niece on a 6-hour drive every weekend to see her mom, my sister? My 47 male sister, 38 female, went to prison for tax fraud. She failed to report income from her MLM over the course of 8 years, almost $400,000 in gross sales. She's going to be gone for 12 years minimum. As a result, I took her daughter, my niece, 14 female, into my home, so she wouldn't end up in foster care. Dad is not in the picture. I've been raising my niece for almost 2 years now. I treat her the same as I treat my own 5 kids. She's well fed, sees any doctor she needs to, and she attends the same private school that my own children do, all on my dime. Recently, my sister was approved for a transfer so she could be closer to the family. The prison she was moved to is a 6-hour drive from my house. Previously, we had to fly to go see her. When my sister was not in driving distance, I would fly my niece out to see her mom once a month. We would spend the weekend out there and visit her for 3 hours on both weekend days. The rest of the weekend was filled out with my niece and I checking out the local food and culture. Well, now that my sister is in a closer prison, she expects us to come see her every weekend. Not only would that require me to spend 12 hours a week driving round trip, but my niece would have to give up most of her social life to visit her mom in prison. I was reluctant, but ultimately willing to give up that much of my time. The thing is, my niece doesn't want to go every weekend. She wants to spend her weekend socializing with her friends, going on dates, seeing concerts, and generally being a teenager. She is 100% okay with keeping up the 1 weekend a month visitation. I told my sister this, and she flipped her shit. She claims that I am alienating her from her daughter and turning her daughter against her because I'm too lazy to drive my niece out there every weekend. Yesterday, we went in for our monthly visit, and my sister refused my visit. She only wanted to see her daughter, but the prison does not allow minors to visit without an adult. So ultimately, she did not get to see her daughter yesterday. It's 6 a.m. I'm sitting awake in a hotel room while my niece is sleeping, and I'm wondering if it's even worth it to go back to the prison when visiting hours open up. I've got cousins, aunts, and uncles messaging me that I shouldn't try to keep her away from her daughter, but that's the opposite of what I'm doing. Top comment here, every weekend is not realistic, even for you. You still have 5 kids who will miss out on time with you. I get wanting to see her daughter, but at some point it feels like punishment for your niece. If she doesn't want to go but is being forced to, it's like she's also being made to serve a bit of her mother's time. Interesting. Plus, she hasn't completely refused to go. She's still up for the 1 weekend a month. Forcing more on her will make her resentful of all of you. She shouldn't be forced.
Story time about how I found out that my coworker was cheating on her husband with my boyfriend. So a little background information. From 2022 to 2023, I worked as a receptionist at this hotel, and I was pretty good friends with one of my coworkers who was kind of older than me. I was 19, and at the time she was about 28 years old, and we're gonna call her Jamie. Jamie seemed like a very professional woman. Like, she would hardly get into drama, and everybody loved her at work. And we were all super thankful to have her because she was also a really good worker. Now, Jamie was married, and she had a son who was about 3 years old. And she would always brag about how her husband treated her so well, which was weird because, girl, if he treated you well, why did you cheat on him? Be so for real. Anyway, so there was this guy who was working in the dining room area, and he was extremely fine. Like, when I tell you every girl wanted to get with him, every girl wanted to get with him. But somehow him and I clicked almost instantly. Fast forward a month, him and I start talking to each other. He even introduced me to his family. Anyways, like I said, we started talking, and he introduced me to his friends, his family, and we would hang out constantly. And things got pretty serious. Eventually, we only were exclusively talking to each other. Fast forward about 3 months later, the news got around about him and I vividly remember that some of the girls were annoyed that him and I were together, which is understandable because he was hot AF. But the person who was most mad was Jamie, and it was very obvious. She constantly made comments towards me about us. She would be like, oh, you two shouldn't be hanging around each other, you guys aren't gonna look professional, all the girls are gonna spread rumors. Like, girl, bye, you're 28 years old with a kid and a husband, get a fucking life. And then whenever him and I would sit together at lunch, she would look at us with these nasty looks. Well, fast forward, the one night him and I are hanging out, and then eventually she follows him on all social medias. But I didn't care though because I thought he was loyal. After my boyfriend accepts it, not even 3 seconds later, she DMs him saying, hey, with a bunch of Ys. Like I said, she DMs him not even like 2 seconds later saying, hey, with a bunch of Ys. And we all know what that means. It's flirty. But she didn't answer him, so she kept spamming him. So fast forward, after him and I were dating for 7 months, we started growing apart. Like, we would spend hours without talking to each other. We stopped going out to the point where it was causing huge fights. And then a week later, a rumor starts going around that he and my coworker Jamie slept together. I found this hard to believe because I feel like people were just trying to break us up. But unfortunately, these rumors were true because I did receive some pictures of evidence of it actually happening. So obviously this caused me to get into a fight with them because I confronted them about it. And fast forward, in the end, both of them were fired and they aren't together anymore, which isn't a surprise. And I don't know what's going on with her and her husband, but whenever he found out, he stormed into the hotel and made a huge scene, as anyone probably would. And now they're both banned from even entering the hotel.